Red rum. Red rum.
These are the places where the stuff of our nightmares comes to life. Allegedly.
He says everybody next door is dead.
Welcome to WatchMojo.com, and today we're counting down our picks for the top 10 most haunted places in the world.
If you search through these catacombs, you could find the gate to hell.
For this list, we've based our choices on a mix of legends, stories, and rumors that surround how supposedly haunted a place may be.
Is there something bad here?
Number 10, the Stanley Hotel, Estes Park, Colorado, USA.
Here's Johnny!
The place that inspired horror writer Stephen King to write The Shining? Yeah, that's definitely on the list. King stayed in room 217 of the Stanley Hotel and reportedly heard ghost children playing in the hallway.
Come and play with us, Daddy. Forever and ever and ever.
The ballroom is where the real action is, however, with accounts of kitchen staff thinking a party was going on in the room, but ultimately finding it unoccupied upon entering.
Good evening, Mr. Torrance. Good evening.
Guests have also reported hearing the ballroom's piano, despite no one playing it. The show, Ghost Hunters, found reasonable explanations for certain sounds, but they could not decode occurrences in the ballroom.
Holy sh**. There's something under here. Yeah.
Number 9. Edinburgh Castle, Edinburgh, Scotland.
Dominating the skyline atop a tower of black volcanic rock, Edinburgh Castle stands, an overwhelming reminder of Scotland's rich and ancient history.
Medieval castles in Europe are always a popular tourist attraction, thanks to their long and interesting history. Edinburgh Castle, however, is one of the most haunted spots in Scotland, reportedly, of course. Visitors have claimed to have seen the spirits of colonial prisoners from the American Revolutionary War and French prisoners from the 7 Years' War. The most famous spirit, though, is the ghost of a piper who was sent to explore the underground tunnels and never returned. Legend says the faint sound of music can be heard from within the castle. Number 8. The Catacombs of Paris, Paris, France.
It's an enormous maze. We think there are as many as 7 levels to it, spreading under the entire city.
If you want to find a ghost, looking in the place where Parisians placed the bones of their dead for decades would be a great place to start. The Catacombs of Paris hold the remains of nearly 6 million people, and so the site is essentially a mass grave.
You can't see the bottom. I don't even know how deep this is.
If that's not creepy enough, the ossuaries are a small part of Paris's vast network of underground tunnels and caverns. In 1871, French revolutionaries massacred a group of monarchists in one of the underground chambers. With that much death and that much history, how can it not be haunted?
It looks like the killing fields.
Number 7. The RMS Queen Mary, Long Beach, California, USA.
Said to still be home to many disturbed and restless souls.
The RMS Queen Mary, once a prominent ocean liner in the North Atlantic Ocean, has been the subject of haunting rumors ever since it was permanently docked in California. The most haunted area of the ship is the engine room, where a 17-year-old sailor died trying to escape a fire. Cabin B340 is also said to be haunted, this time by the spirit of a murder victim, while the ghost of a young girl allegedly haunts the pool area after a drowning incident.
You know, I feel here now as if she was standing here, she'd just be dripping of water.
Number 6. Alcatraz Federal Penitentiary, San Francisco Bay, California, USA.
Long before Alcatraz was a fort or a prison, local Native Americans called it Evil Island, and many who did time on the rock agreed.
Alcatraz Federal Penitentiary has been cited as one of the most haunted places in the United States. There are numerous reports of ghostly encounters in the utility corridor, where 3 inmates were killed in a failed escape attempt.
What you'll see is a formation in the middle of the stairway, a gaseous formation, and also a shadow that is cast on the bottom of the photograph.
Cell 14D is another supposedly haunted area of the prison, due to a legend that says an inmate once spent a night calling out that he was being murdered by a creature with glowing eyes. Lo and behold, he was found throttled to death the next day. Al Capone's ghost also allegedly haunts the prison, so enter at your own risk.
You've escaped from quite a few prisons, haven't you? That's why you're here. Alcatraz was built to keep all the rotten eggs in one basket.
Number 5. Borley Rectory, Essex, England.
We see shadows. I see a woman dressed in white and I feel she was around us during the course of the night when we've been filming.
The village of Borley is not the sort of place you would associate with ghosts, but it is home to the infamous Borley Rectory, considered to be the most haunted house in all of England.
The famous story at Chillingham is that every brick of the castle is haunted.
Once the site of an ancient monastery, legend has it that a monk and a nun were killed in the area after their affair was discovered. The nun allegedly haunts the grounds of the rectory, while multiple tenants have reported paranormal activity like the ringing of bells, the breaking of windows, and the appearance of writing on the walls.
I mean, there's the stories of the screams every September, but no one really knows.
Number 4, Myrtle's Plantation, St. Francisville, Louisiana, USA.
I have been tugged on before, always in the same place, and from having children and grandchildren, it's that tight pull. You can even feel the little fingers. And I've experienced that more than once.
The Myrtle's Plantation is rumored to be located on an ancient Indian burial ground and is said to be home to 12 ghosts, including Chloe, a former slave. Legend has it that Chloe was caught spying on her owner, had her ear cut off, and hid it with a turban. She tried to get revenge by poisoning a birthday cake, but the plan backfired when only the owner's wife and children ate the cake, and all died. Chloe was hanged and thrown into the Mississippi River, and her spirit supposedly haunts the plantation to this day.
As far as people seeing Chloe, she can show up at any time. It's not like I want to see a certain person, she's just there. And she's very often seen on the front of the house.
Number 3, Waverly Hills Sanatorium, Louisville, Kentucky, USA.
Is there a child up here with me?
One of the most haunted hospitals in America, the Waverly Hills Sanatorium was built to help handle the outbreak of tuberculosis in Jefferson County in the early 1900s. Urban legend claims that over 60,000 people died at the sanatorium, many of whom were sent to the death tunnel, a chute used to lower the dead bodies in a secretive manner to prevent patients from seeing how many people were being killed by the disease. Room 502 is also rumored to be haunted by a nurse who committed suicide with a light bulb wire.
I opened my eyes, right there. There was an old woman, dead. Her eyes were like sunken in, no teeth.
Number 2, Eastern State Penitentiary, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, USA.
This is a 12-acre prison with nearly 1,000 cells in it, and it was open for 142 consecutive years. So there were literally generations of people who were housed in these cell blocks.
Eastern State Penitentiary was home to some of the harshest punishments in the United States, including the water bath, the mad chair, and the iron gag. The first prison to use solitary confinement, many Eastern State Penitentiary prisoners went insane because of its extreme conditions and isolation. Numerous people have reported hearing cackling from cell block 12, while mysterious, ghostly faces are said to appear in cell block 4. Even Al Capone was allegedly haunted by the ghost of James Clark, one of the men he had murdered during his incarceration there.
On my right-hand side, the shadow, it looked like a shoulder with head, really fast, and went right by us.
Before we unveil our number 1 pick, here are a few honorable mentions.
Abraham Lincoln has been seen throughout the building, especially in this room, which they call the Lincoln bedroom.
Son guardianas de la isla del terror.
Rob got to a point where he said, cross over, go to the light, move on, and all of a sudden you hear a voice go, heaven.
Was it madness, or was it misguided genius that drove Sarah Winchester to build obsessively until the day she died?
After that, I tell you honestly, I couldn't stop if I wanted to. I couldn't put the gun down. So I felt somebody was inside moving me.
Number 1, the Tower of London, London, England.
The guards who patrol the tower at night claim to have heard agonizing screams echoing through the doors of the White Tower.
The place where multiple executions, murders, and tortures have taken place over the last 1,000 years. If there is a place haunted in the world, this surely is it. Our top pick is allegedly home to hundreds of ghosts, including Lady Jane Grey, Henry VI, Sir Walter Raleigh, and Thomas Becket. However, perhaps the most famous resident is the spirit of Anne Boleyn. Her ghost has been seen on many occasions, usually in the Tower Chapel Royal or on Tower Green, and she is often carrying her head in her arms. Do you agree with our list? What's your favorite haunted place? For more spooky top 10s published daily, be sure to subscribe to WatchMojo.com.
Why don't you start right now and get the out of here?